I stare at that part for a full 2 minutes. I'm like, okay, I see what I've done there. ये part कहीं से अंदर नहीं घुसने वाला.
Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Student Projects at Manipal. And today we have with us the team from Thrust MIT.
Hey guys, I'm Prajwal Zairaman. I am a second year aeronautical student and I'm a part of the structures subsystem at Thrust MIT.
Hello guys, I'm Anish. I'm from aeronautical branch as well, and I'm in the aerodynamics subsystem of Thrust MIT.
And I'm Siddharth. I'm studying EC and I'm in avionics and Thrust.
Let's move on to our first question. That is, can you guys tell us a basic description of Thrust MIT?
Yeah, okay. If the others don't mind, I'll go after this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so basically we at Thrust MIT are a group of passionate rocketeers who go about building sounding rockets. Okay, so first of all, to clear it off, sounding rockets are rockets that are basically research-based rockets. They are rockets that carry various instruments that are made to take measurements and perform scientific experiments to whatever altitude this particular sounding rocket is launched. So yeah, that's what a basic sounding rocket is. Yeah, that's our main aim, building and researching on various topics related to rocketry. And we launch rockets. We participate in this competition known as the Spaceport America Cup, which is held in Spaceport, America, every year. And yeah, but apart from that, we do conduct various amounts of research work and various interesting tests on campus within Manipal itself related to rocketry.
And there is one more thing.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
About Thrust MIT, it's fine. I'm just telling this. Like when people think about Thrust MIT, they're like, oh, we make rockets and all. So some people have like very high expectations, like, oh, these people are going to work with NASA or SpaceX. And other
I
people
was about to ask this question because I have heard this when I was in first year.
So the thing is like some people expect us to make big rockets, or some people expect us like, okay, these people make water rockets and ऐसे ही छोड़ देते हैं rocketeers के नाम पे. But like the thing about sounding rockets is like, it has a special, like, what would I say? Like a purpose, there's a scientific experiment that is conducted by the rocket. That's why it is classified as a sounding rocket. So what we make is of importance and stuff like that. It's not just like we are, of course, have fun, but we also want to contribute to something. But yeah, people have like a lot of high expectations and nahi bhaiya.
My parents still think we make model rockets.
Okay, so talking about fuel, I like a few months ago, I think I saw a video on your Instagram page that was regarding some fuel testing. So like, do you guys make your own fuel?
Yeah, we actually do make our own fuel. We are in the process of making new composites and new, additives to make our fuel efficiency better. Because normally, like, we don't get 100% efficiency from anything. So our goal is to make the most efficient fuel and most safe fuel as well. Like we need to be able to make it quick, store it quick, and use it as safe as possible. So normally there are like different kinds of rocket systems. One is solid and one is liquid. So we at the present stage we're using the solid rocket, but maybe future we have plans for liquid.
Thrust MIT started about like 5 years back, if I'm not wrong, 5 or 6 years back. Back then, like still amateurs, like still learning the basics of rocketry and stuff like that. So in that process, so far we have been using something called as a quartz motor. Quartz basically is commercial off-the-shelf motors made by professional companies. They provide us with the motor, we use them in our rockets, and the rocket flies. But right now we are working towards building our own motor. It's called SRAD, Student Researched and Developed. So we are working towards these motors, making our own fuel compositions and all that. Hopefully we get to launch one very soon.
That sounds really interesting. So like talking about all of this stuff that you're making, can you also explain what all awards and achievements you guys have like received till now? Because you also participate in some competitions. So
yeah, so basically, as mentioned before, we go to Spaceport America Cup. So we started going in 2018, and in that year we won 2 prizes, which is on the spot design award and debut design award, because as I said, first time. And then again in 2019, the next year that we went, we won the Team Spirit Award.
Team Spirit, I think. Team Spirit.
Yeah, Team Spirit Award. So yeah. But then 2020 the competition got cancelled because obviously COVID.
Now let's move on to one of the most asked questions. Like we have a few questions lined up that are frequently asked. So the first one is domains in the student project. So what all subsystems or domains do you guys have?
So normally our team specifically is broken down into 3 major subsystems. Those are avionics, mechanical, and management. So avionics and mechanical come under the technical subsystems, and management comes under the management subsystem. So then in avionics and mechanical is even broken down into furthermost subsystems. Those are structures, aerodynamics, propulsion, and research and payload. So this is the mechanical side, and even in avionics, they also work in the payload side. So payload is like the jack of all trades. So payload and research, they work in avionics and in mechanical as well.
So payload is basically like the heart of our rocket. Each rocket serves a purpose, and this subsystem, the payload subsystem, decides what the purpose of our rocket is going to be. Like it's either some research related, like some research that can be conducted at such heights. Like we aim for the 10,000 feet category at the Spaceport America Cup. So various research that can be conducted at that altitude or something like that. That's what basically our payload subsystem does. And yeah, apart from that, the other subsystems work in their respective domains. Like structures works towards building a stable and strong rocket body. The aerodynamics works towards making a rocket that can successfully fly to the given altitudes by making it aerodynamically stable. No gust of wind should disturb it. Avionics builds the flight computer control system for the rocket, and propulsions designs the motor for the rocket that helps it fly mainly.
So now the next question that is very frequently asked is, how do you guys recruit?
Our general recruitment system happens as soon as the interaction ban with the first year's ends. That under general circumstances would be somewhere in the month of September, if I'm not wrong, September and October sometime. And we follow a very systematic manner for recruitments. We initially have a basic test covering those topics related in physics, chemistry, and to a certain extent mathematics that's covered in the grades 10th to 12th. Avionics includes obviously topics such as electronics and to some certain extent basic coding as well. That's covered in high school grades basically. And once they clear this written test, we conduct a basic discussion with them regarding their interest in rocketry. It's not an interview as such, it's just us getting to know them better, so that we know on what foot we are starting off with our fresh recruits.
So after after our written test, we move on to the task phase. It's called the general task phase. So where we start giving them weeks, as we have told, as I've told you, we have broken down into different subsystems. So we give a weekly general feel of the subsystem, and then after the general task phase, we move a specific person into their specific task phase. That's one subsystem that they choose, or they're the best fit for. They work on that.
Yeah, so basically our aim on the mechanical side is that a person who is working in structure should know at least some basics of what is being done in aerodynamics and propulsions. So which is why we make sure that all the students who are participating in the task phase go through the general task phase first. Once they know the basics of rocketry from all subsystems, then we move on to giving them their respective subsystems and then giving them specialization in that particular field.
Avionics works in a similar fashion as well. So basically, as Prajwal mentioned, after the written test and a session of interview, we start off with your basic electronics and electrical and coding. And after like one phase of that is done, we get to stuff that is actually related to the rocket. Because that, I mean, stuff they have to learn as part of the rocket so that they can finally get into the team. And besides the regular recruitment dates and stuff, we also like conduct recruitments if necessary at other dates. So like it's not just that one period that you have to look out for if you want to get into custom IT.
One more question that I'm pretty sure you guys would have been asked multiple times is, how much time do you expect for a member to devote to Thrust MIT? Like, what do you think if a new person joins Thrust MIT, how much time do you think they would have to devote to it?
So normally, when you start off, I started off in the first recruitment phase. So we were in first year, and there was this craze of, okay, like student projects, everyone's going in, and like first year mein jana hai, and this that, and then we started off not knowing how hard it was going to be. So when they start giving you the work, it's a lot, and you'll have to do that, because normally we work for deadlines. We work to meet deadlines. So these people also set deadline. I mean, not these people, now even I'm in the team. So we set deadlines for the juniors so that they meet and give us expected and quality results by those deadlines. And which studies, of course, it's difficult. I wouldn't like say it's difficult. So it's not everyone's cup of tea, but then like whoever wants to try for a student project, at least I would say, if they apply for it and if they're going and maybe they leave in a later stage, they're never losing anything. They at least like gain some knowledge that's going to be helpful for the future years. Like even when we teach something which is in task phase, that's like very crucial for them in like second years or third year. Like the same portion might be covered in the future years as well. So I wouldn't say it's like a total loss for them as well. So, but it is kind of hard managing both of them. So yeah, when you can manage both of them, you work in the team. That's like how I
We basically
it takes
aim
time.
to create a, I mean, like anything you do in an engineering college takes time, and obviously you need to undertake extracurriculars. Like just sitting in your room and studying, doing your academics is not the appropriate way to secure a better future. Obviously, you need to have other things in your CV at the end of the day. And yeah, we aim to create like a very professional atmosphere here. I mean, we do have our own chill times. We do have fun with the team members. But when it comes to work, we take our work very seriously. And yeah, at the end of the day, if you once you get a hang of what exactly is happening here, time management does not get that difficult.
And one more thing is like everyone who is in the team is like they have the same passion for the same topic. Like we all are here and we are working on the rocket. That means like we are passionate about the rocket. And like if you take any other student project as well, they are passionate about that stuff. That's what makes them work more than their engineering as well. So that's why they're willing to put that effort.
Okay, so are you guys working on any ongoing projects right now?
So recently we had our submission for the final report submission for the SA Cup competition. So we are done with that. And before lockdown, we had many plans of having a subscale launch. So that is a launch which we do in Manipal, and it's a smaller rocket. And we just want to, like, it's the second years who have not yet gone to the competition, trying out what they have learned from their task phase and stuff. And yeah, it's like a small scale rocket launch. And I think
interesting fact, we have a very coincidental tendency to name all of our rockets after Valorant characters.
Hey,
so
nice.
very weird tendency. Coincidentally, all of our rockets that at least we have worked on so far, not a Killjoy.
So the thing is like
sad.
We have a Phoenix.
Yeah, so the Phoenix is our normal rocket, which is gone. It's our main rocket, which is going for the this competition. And then the subscale launch, we were divided into two teams. So the second years were divided into two teams, and one team was named Omen, and the other team was named Ash. So this
Astra.
Astra even came into like the game. So we,
Yeah,
after
exactly. Astra was a rocket that we built before the character
the-
Astra was introduced into
Oh.
Valorant.
Damn.
So we have this very weird tendency.
Okay, this sounds really
Yeah.
interesting.
Apart from the sub skill that Anish just mentioned, we also work on like various fun projects that are to do with rocketry. We are currently working towards building some technology, some mechanism known as RCS. That's the reaction control system. And another one known as the TVC. That's the thrust vector control. I will not go into the details of these two projects, trying to keep it as light as possible. But if you do look at what these are, if you do go and Google for these, you will really know, like you will really have fun looking at videos that cover these topics.
yeah, SpaceX mostly uses these technologies in their rockets. So if you've seen their launches, then you will be familiar with it. So it's
Yes. So from avionics side, we are building this. So basically, what happens in our flight computer is that we just have a board on which we lay up all the different modules that we use. So from that, we are trying to shift to a system where we just use the chips, the surface mount devices, which are much smaller and compact, and it will make our board more efficient and make it more efficient and better working. So we're slowly shifting from a module-based system to a system on board. So that's one of the projects that's going on from avionics.
from Aero and Propulsion. Aero is working with payload. They're planning to make like a deployable system, and we are planning to go supersonic. That's that reaches up to 30K feet. Now we're at 10K, so that means a faster rocket and more powerful rocket, and even propulsion. As I said, like liquid is a thing that they are searching and trying to develop. So these are from some topics which we're working on currently.
Yeah, so starting off with our first informal question, do you want to share any informal incidents that you guys have had in your tenure? Like any fun incident?
Fun incident. So normally, like when we came into the team, lockdown struck, so we couldn't do that much of like like fun experiments or stuff like that. But the most impressive thing, like which I have seen throughout, is the motor test. So every time the motor test happens, it's very fun and like is तो हम motor को जला रहे हैं, so थोड़ा safety and all that, and everyone is scared of the motor because we are testing it, right? So we don't know what's going to happen with the motor. So it's like people are 10 feet back and we are telling them move.
Yeah, Mission Impossible वाला scene होता है.
Half of the four, five people are holding fire extinguishers to like be अगर जल गया तो हाँ.
Nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
We make sure of that beforehand, but safety is better than precaution is better than cure. So we always have everything in hand. And then best part is deciding whose phone goes on top of the motor. Like
Whose phone?
basically we need like a top view of the motor, right? ऊपर से एक video निकालना रहता है to see how the motor is performing.
Motor, yeah. To see the
so we place it safely, obviously, like about a few feet above the motor. But yeah, that's really fun deciding whose phone goes up there.
So normally in aerodynamics, parachute is a thing, right? So normally what happens is we need to test out if the parachute can inflate, is it still having its life, and we do something known as reefing and stuff like that. So we need to test it out. So we don't have that big of a wind tunnel in Manipal to test like a parachute. So the thing is, like we go on beach trips. So we go Malpe or something like that, take the parachute along with us. Either we rent a car or else like we take it in the bus. So ऐसे ही बस में बैठ जाते हैं पैराशूट के साथ 3-4 people with the video recording. Then we go to Kapu, Malpe, something like that, because it is at a higher altitude, right? So
do you jump off with it?
अरे
No, no,
yes,
no.
sir.
मरना नहीं
Jumping
है.
off.
नहीं,
इतना
we are not
confidence
that
नहीं है
suicidal.
parachute, but yeah. So yeah, so we go, we check the parachute, and then like it's like a fun day at the beach also. Half we do in that. So yeah, that is one fun story.
Apart
Beach
from this,
trips are
we
always nice.
even our tenure has been online. Most of it because of COVID has
Yeah, that's
it's
the
been pretty
sad
fun.
story.
I'll tell you this one thing that happened with me. Okay, I am a part of the structure subsystem. Anish, retainer wala kahani.
Oh, continue.
Yeah. So basically, as a structures engineer, it's my duty to ensure that everything is strong enough to handle the forces. And like rocket को जो भी assembly हम लोग करते हैं, like screwing all the parts together, everything can happen properly. So we were designing this one rocket, and
This is Astra.
एकदम खुशी
which we
खुशी
built.
we were designing Astra. Okay, एकदम खुशी खुशी हम लोग डिजाइन कर रहे थे, एकदम अच्छे से जा रहा था, मस्त एकदम जा रहा था, पूरा रॉकेट डिजाइन किया. We presented it in front of our seniors, and seniors are like, assembly सोचा है तुमने कैसे करोगे? मैं बोला, I was the structure engineer of that team of Team Astra. I'm like, हाँ ऐसे ऐसे करेंगे, ये करेंगे, ये करेंगे. तो then they're like, ये बॉटम वाला पार्ट जरा देखो, ये अंदर कहाँ से जाएगा, बाहर कहाँ से निकलेगा, तुम स्क्रू कहाँ पे करोगे? I look at that part. I stare at that part for a full 2 minutes. I'm like, okay, I see what I've done there. ये part कहीं से अंदर नहीं घुसने वाला. There is no way to fix that part where it's supposed to be fixed. So then the rest of the team is busy defending कि नहीं यहाँ से डाल सकते, यहाँ से डाल सकते. I'm like, नहीं बाबा, नहीं होने वाला है.
Okay, that's well.
I was like contradicting. I'm like, I had trust in Prajwal. मैं बोल रहा हूँ, नहीं, we can actually, it's actually a retainer, so it will go in the rocket. We can put it, we'll make the mold, and then we'll put it in. But then it's just in the CAD, it is literally out of the rocket, like
out. नहीं, it's in such a way that it cannot be put over there.
Okay.
There is no way it can be inserted in that position at all.
So what happened
why we
finally
don't-
after that? You had to redesign it?
I had to redesign that part, but yeah,
that's why we don't let
we had
Prajwal
our
a retainer part of the rocket. I don't trust you in that part, at least.
You're right. You're right to say that.
Okay, so with that, we kind of finally come to an end of this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
if you guys did, then please ask the audience to like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe, guys. I haven't done
Like, share, and
Smash
subscribe,
the
guys,
subscribe
to all
button.
MIT, and to Trust MIT. Go
Trust
follow all our
MIT.
social
Yeah,
media
man.
handles.
Check out our Instagram.